So I think it's not necessarily true that the human will always have better judgment, even in difficult classification situations. I think that's a bias that may fade away over time.
So you're saying elderly society will have more use of the robots?
Yeah.
Healthcare?
So right now,
Yeah.
cars coming into the home, giving the very elderly the ability to live by themselves or with their spouse, but independently of having to get outsiders come into their home, or they have to go into high care, let them live longer, because with the demographic inversion, there are just not enough people to provide those sorts of services that the elderly will need. And this will give them, I'm not talking about companion robots, I'm talking about robots that might help you get onto and off the toilet, into and out of bed, so you choose when you do those things rather than a caregiver coming into your house and telling you when to go to the bathroom.
Mr. Roth, you wanted to say something?
You know, on this issue of killer robots, I mean, we often hear this argument that,
I was talking about cars,
no, precisely, you know, but in others, it's one thing, you know, a car has to decide, you know, when do you brake, and you know, when is that obstacle going to be in your way, and those are the kinds of physical judgments that undoubtedly computers can be programmed to make better than people. But when you're at war, the judgments are not simply these issues of sort of physical estimation, but they're essential moral judgments at stake. And I don't have faith that it's just a matter of better programming before we can make those moral judgments properly. Because, you know, a key impediment in war is human empathy. You know, the natural reluctance that people have to kill another human being. That's going to be very difficult to program. Or even, you know, even the more pragmatic issues. One of the big legal requirements in war is that if you're attacking something, the military advantage has to be greater than the potential civilian cost. Look at the two sides of that equation. I mean, military advantage is completely contextual. You know, bombing a bridge today may be very important, but bombing it tomorrow is irrelevant because there are other ways around the water, or people have already passed the river. You know, civilian casualties, you know, how do you first of all decide who is a civilian? How do you decide whether, you know, your target, you know, maybe tomorrow, because you've seen a pattern, he would be someplace else where there wasn't a school bus at the moment of attack. You know, maybe there is, you know, who's to decide that this ring of people around the target, you know, is or is not sufficiently valuable to refrain from killing that person at that moment because of the collateral damage. I mean, these are very complex, contextual, specific
Mr. Ross,
judgments.
Can I go back to that issue later on? And I just want to explore the, you know, the impact of these technologies going into our daily lives first. And Mr. Russell, I mean, Professor Russell, there are, you know, automakers or Google are trying, testing their automatic autonomous vehicles now on the